Welcome back, my beautiful humans. So glad you came back today. And welcome to the final part of our series on angels. And this one is Angels Living a Kinder Life. On If I Die Tomorrow. We've journeyed from the ancient origins of angels to practical ways that we can acknowledge and connect with them today. In this concluding episode, we're going to weave all of the threads together, exploring how our relationships with our angels deepen our purpose and ultimately leading us to a profound connection with the divine itself. How lucky are we? We truly are lucky. Angels in our daily mindful lives. So in part one, we discussed not only physical descriptions of angels or the fact that they could just be energy or light itself, or that they were an extension of God himself, or as others have believed in their religion and their understanding of angels and their introduction to angels, how they add to life of mankind and how they have unfortunately been given tough jobs as well as beautiful jobs as far as being divine messengers or guides. And then in part two, we discussed connecting with them and how connecting with the angels can make everyday life better. But it also reminded us that, they don't like to be just called, hey, you, and you have an option. As we discussed in that conversation, we discussed journaling and we discussed auto writing. We discussed meditation. I explained to you that for me, part of one of the ways that I was able to do that was early in the morning or late in the evening, and being open to once that voice came, because it really is. You ask them for their assistance, or if you're praying to God and you ask for help, somewhere and you don't know where, it's the answer's there. The you don't hear a voice, but you the thought is there. And to me, it's just beautiful. And I don't care that I can't explain it. I don't care because I don't need to see it all. I have faith. And I think that's a big thing. And I think angels play a huge role in our life here and being better. I think by opening ourselves up, as we discussed previously, to angels, the kinder life that we want, where we're more present, and we've made each and every day count, because we don't know if we have another sunrise tomorrow or a sunset even. I think their presence in our life, if we allow it, can lead to more compassion towards others. But it can also lead to more compassion towards yourself. because we are really our own worst critics. We judge ourselves more than anybody else. And by inviting this into our lives, it kind of quiets that a little. It offers greater self-forgiveness and self-love. And again, who doesn't need that? I know I do. Because, man, I would hate to, yeah, no, I think it would also help with us making better choices that is aligned with our higher self and also our kinder self. It doesn't always have to be we don't always have to get lost in translation. We don't have to make this harder than it really is. I believe by allowing this connection that we've discussed and pulling it all together, it is also going to help us find strength when we are facing challenge. You know, I've heard the saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay? Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. I think having this connection will actually help you do that. I think it will also help you be more willing to embrace your resiliency and embrace that life is not perfect. People are not perfect, and you can be a little bit more empathetic. Again, I've talked about it before. Have boundaries, but you can also be empathetic. Now, having your connection with angels and regularly speaking to them and acknowledging them and thanking them, show them gratitude. Their insights can help clarify your mission. I've told you before that yes, I believe ultimately our whole purpose on this earth is to be love. That said, and I still believe that, I believe that there are other purposes that we have on this earth as well than to just be love. And I think they're important. I think they're what drive us to contribute our part to making this world a better place. Even though you think, and we are very small, we are very insignificant in the whole grand scheme of things, but every action that we do to make this world better is one less action that has to be taken, if that makes sense. And I believe that by allowing your trust and compassion and gratitude and acknowledgement of the angels, it will push you in ways that you never dreamed. And it will help you acknowledge the life you want to live and how you can contribute better, how you can be better, be more love, and still enjoy this life that we have been given, because it truly is a blessing. I know some days are really, really long. The stress of everyday life, nothing working out the right way that you want it to on a specific day, but I can assure you the years are very, very short. And I hope that you can kind of remember that. If you're feeling a very strong urge to volunteer, and volunteer for a specific group, or like at a hospital or a shelter or a domestic abuse or suicide prevention, mental health, any of that. If you break that down, you might be able to explain some of your passion, but because you were willing to listen to that nudge, that voice, push you towards that, it might help you realize where you should be. And I want that for you so badly. I also believe that random encounters hold a message. And some encounters are really, really weird. But if you step back from that and kind of look at it from outside of the situation, you might be able to find message or a meaning in that. You might even be able to find a new passion. I'm going to now incorporate our ability to speak to the angels into making it a bridge to God. Hear me out. If we go through, so as a Christian, you're taught of God, Yeshua, Yahweh. And I heard it once beautifully said that people actually couldn't really say his name. And so it was when you took your first breath, that you were actually saying his name as you enter this world, and as you leave this world, his name is the last thing that you say. And I find that absolutely beautiful. And I know others might not agree with that, and that's okay. We need discussion. We need to be able to have different opinions and still be kind to one another and share our views. Because if we didn't, then this whole world would be one-sided. And I know I kind of just got off of my topic. Yeah, I'm sorry I do that to you guys a lot. I'll get back. Anyway, we were taught of God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. And then helping as their helper are the angels. Now, I believe, and I really want you, when you connect with your angels, use your discernment. If at any time they make you, if you don't feel good, if it is something that is not right in your heart, then you need to say, clear, and I want to speak to the angel and connect with the angels and God. Use your discernment. There is a war we don't see, believe it or not. So please use your discernment. I don't care if you say cancel, clear, take me to, your angels will never put you in a position of harm or to harm others or to degrade. So do not allow that to happen. If it is, then you are not speaking to an angel. And also in your discernment, if it is something that they are saying is coming from the Lord, you need to ask, do you believe that Jesus Christ walked this earth? If they say no, you're not talking to, you cancel, you clear, and you go back. My aunt was very adamant about that, and I need to make sure that I share that. And if I miss something, please let me know. Now, as I went through that whole spiel, angels can be intermediaries between humanity and the ultimate divine source, God. I know others believe they don't call him God. They don't call him Yeshua. They don't call him Yahweh. They have other names for them. They have other uh, understandings, but they all still believe that there is something greater and higher than themselves. The universe, source energy, creator, and it's written in so many historical documents and studies that you really need to, depending on your belief system. But see, and again, to me, because all of them talk about angels or helpers with the Most High, I just find it odd that there's, I think we're all looking at the same person, just calling him by a different name. If that makes sense. And I might get some hate for that. And if I do, I understand. And that's okay. And I'm sorry, because it was not meant as an offense. It was a reflection, an observation. And I will leave it at that. But when you're dealing with angels and you're asking them to intercede on your behalf with their higher power, I think when they acknowledging that they're not the source, but rather an expression or extension of divine love and wisdom and power, that there is an easier understanding on what you can ask of them, what you shouldn't ask of them, what you won't ask of them. I would like to ask you, since we've been talking about this, how does your understanding of angels as messengers or guides, how does that deepen your own personal relationship with the divine? Does it take it to the next level at all? Does it just confuse you more? Does it make the divine feel more accessible by having the ability to have a relationship and acknowledgement with angels and to connect to them? Does it also feel more loving and personal? Let me know in the comments. For me, it makes it feel more personal. I'm not just speaking out there. I'm acknowledged as a person, and they are there with me through every high and low. And I know that they have made the low not as bad as it could have been. So in closing, I want to add that angels, I believe, reflect unconditional love, omnipresence, and perfect wisdom. Our exploration of angels reveals not only their fascinating history and the power of connection, but also their role in guiding us toward a more expansive understanding, and existence. And I love that for all of us. They remind us that we are always supported, we are always loved, and always connected to something indefinitely greater. And I didn't mean indefinitely, I meant infinitely. Now I have to figure out why I said that. But actually, both of those work. But yes, actually, infinitely would be the better word. If angels are indeed powerful messengers and extensions of the divine, it naturally leads us to the source of that divinity. It asks us to look beyond the messengers to the creation. And how does that connection shape our life, our purpose, our legacy? Especially if we consider the question on if I die tomorrow. Next time on If I Die Tomorrow, we're going to take a leap and we're going to delve into the profound and deeply personal journey of understanding and connecting with God. However you conceive the divine power to be. I call him God, Yeshua, Yahweh. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. I am who I am. And I'm excited for that discussion. And that is actually going to be another multi-parter because that's a biggie. And I am excited to go on that conversation and journey with you. And I look forward to seeing all of your comments and questions. And I really do hope that this sparked your curiosity, opened your heart and your soul to acknowledging and being more grateful for the support that we have in our life that was given to us by the grace of our Creator. Thank you for joining me. Be kind. Be grateful. Stay humble.